Hello and welcome back to the channel. It's Echo Stretch. In this video I'm going to show you how we can create a bin file for the FeatherS2. I know a lot of people have been asking, and I've been trying to just wait because the board always ends up failing when creating these bins, and I just had to do enough testing that I get a general idea of what the best way to do this is. But yeah, let's go ahead and just jump right into the video, guys. I do have it up. I'm just using Stooges files currently right now. So it does have all the attachments here, the GoldHEN, JZip, and so on. If we scroll down, the only things I did change here is the use a little file system, and obviously the host, the SSID, and the password, because we're going to be using Caros here. So if we jump in, you can see how I do have the folder structure set up here. Starting off, if we go up to tools here and go into the partition scheme, we have, well, we really have three, but it lists two. Let me just get there. So it has FAT and FATFS, both the same. The problem with FAT was that if we go into the trainer folder and go into the games, you can see that it has over 1,000 files. Even if you do split them up with the JPEGs in one folder and the JSONs in the other folder, you're still up over 500, and it's just too much for the FAT. The FAT does not like it. So later on down the road, we could probably go with it once we do get rid of the trainer. I would assume that the trainer is going to end up being obsolete pretty soon, with GoldHEN being able to do everything it does. There's really no point of even having it. But for now, it's just best just to keep it around. So the FAT system wasn't going to work for that there unless we ended up splitting the folders up, or the JPEGs and the JSONs, into 200 files per folder. It just didn't make any sense. There's no point. So I ended up switching and going to the SPIF, and for the most part the SPIF worked if all your files are in the main directory. If we go out here, even here, like trainer, it goes by file length. So if we have trainer, that's going to be on the root of our device there, and that's going to be on the website, and then we add a file, so we put slash. Doesn't really matter. Say this here one, because this is pretty long. So I'm not sure the exact amount of characters. I wasn't really paying attention. I just knew that it was way too long, and it wouldn't create the or it wouldn't even flash the board because the file names were too long. So what I ended up having to do was change it and just rename it and just put a T there or whatever, right? And that seemed to work because it brought down the file length. Same with 505. What I did was I put this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this was T. If it wasn't T, then it was over to 0, because I did have some problems with, I think it was T that was the problem, but when I changed it over to 0, then I was able to create the bin. Just the way it goes. Like I said, this board is it's delicate, I should say. Very delicate. So we'll just rename that back to trainer. And then I ended up with little fs. Now, little fs uses the SPIF partition table, but it's just configured over here with enabling it true, and obviously having the FAT as false. With this here table, though, with this partition scheme using little fs, you can go ahead and have these folders and the long file names. It seems everything to work. Now I'm using the exact same thing with trying to create a chameleon host, doing the exact same thing with all his things on his web host, and I'm having a problem with it. It's not creating the bin. So it's just I can't even explain it. You just gotta try it and see what you can come up with. Now if we go up here to our tools, PS RAM needs to be enabled if you're using little fs, but if you're using the SPIF, then it has to be disabled. for some reason. That's just the testing I've done. You might be able to get it to work without it, but using the spiff, if I had it enabled, it would only go to 4%, and I could never get it past. I popped it over to disable, and it went through. Now it didn't go through all the time, but the times that I did get it to go through, the PS RAM was disabled. Now with little FS, it can be enabled. I don't think I've ever tried it with being disabled. I just left it enabled, and it seems to work. The USB CDC on boot needs to be enabled as well. I don't think I've ever had that disabled on either partitions and it be successful. But if you're having issues, try switching this one as well as this here one, and you might be able to get it. So let's jump into the next part here. So I do have my COM set up. Other than that, I'm using the 1 megabyte app and 14 megabyte file size. Now it says 14 megabytes. Don't believe it's 14 megabytes. If you're using spiff, I think it was around 12 megabytes. That anything over that, it wouldn't even load. Little FS is a little more accurate, but I don't think it's the full 14 megabytes. Now, what I did was, if we go over to our C drive and go into user, just jump in here. I'll show you exactly what I ended up doing, just to get it to work and to give me more space. This is what I was doing. So if we go into hardware here and tools, partitions, go ahead and just open up any notepad, it's fine. This is the 14 megabyte here. Go ahead and drag it over, and these here partitions can be found on Stooge's GitHub along with the thing. Once you download the files for the server, it comes with these anyways. Just copy them over. It'll also come with the board file, which is right here. Just go ahead and put it in there. But you can see that this is what I was doing to give myself more space on the file side of it. Basically, you can change these two numbers here to whichever you like, but it has to equal the 1 million. And what I mean by 1 million is if we open up our calculator and we go into our hex, just go into programmer and then hex, put in 1 million. Yeah, 1 million. And then this final number here, whether you do it up here or down here, they just got to equal. So if you take 1,000, you got to take it from there, right? So 11,000, or sorry, 110,000. If we minus that, paste it in. Okay, let me try copying that again. Copy. Okay, Control V always works. There you go. And then we go equal. You can see EF, and there's our EF. That's how you change that there. If you want to play around with the partition size, if you're not just getting enough space or whatnot, or maybe you want the app side of it to be bigger, you can go ahead and change that as well. But yeah, that's what I did to have the more storage space. But I ended up making Caro's side really small. Like if we go to the original, this was just the exFAT. I think I ended up changing this to 7 megabytes. It was about 12 megabytes, 12 and a half, I think, almost 13. But I ended up shrinking it down to a lot with just removing the GTA mods from 505 right up to 7.55. I removed the GTA and the Red Dead Redemption mod menus. You don't really need them. There's lots of apps out there. You can load the mod menus. As for 900, it has all the mod menus: Beef Queefy, Implosion, and whatnot. I added GoldHEN 2.1.2 back as well, just because some people were having problems with the GoldHEN trainer. So this way you can go ahead and launch 2.1.2 and then go ahead and just use the trainer. But yeah, let's just jump right into flashing the board now that we do have everything set up there, guys. Just go ahead. What I like to do first is just jump in here and do an erase flash just to erase the board. It doesn't take long and it doesn't hurt just to get it to erase. So we'll go ahead and just close this out for now. We don't need it open. I'm going to move this over here. We'll just let that go. I will show you a handy little tool here. Let me open this back up again. We'll go into, yeah, this is fine. Just to show you that you can do this here. Let's just say if you have a bunch of files like this here, we'll extract them. And then we'll just delete the archive files, the gunzip. So yeah, you have a bunch of files like this here. As you can see, this is huge. If we go ahead and just check the size of it, you're at 16 megabytes. There's no way you're going to fit that on a board. We'll get into making that there a lot quicker. Just give me 1 sec. So now the board is flashed here. I'm just going to go up and upload it and just let it go. It will go on its own. It's no big deal. But yeah, let's jump back into this here. So a quick way of doing this here is if we just go ahead, you download 7-zip. We're not going to use the actual manager. The manager will let you do one by one, but if you're doing multiple files, it's best just to go in here, hit more, open file location, and then on the shortcut, go to properties, and then open file location. So you can go ahead and close this all out now. Don't need it. There's this little file up here, the 7z file. Go ahead and copy that, and we can just paste it in here. Now I have a little short command here. We'll go in here. Don't mind the mess, but this is where I put it. This is a little command right here. Go ahead and copy it. I will leave a link in the description. You guys can go ahead and copy that there. It's a good command to have. It is super fast, and it's only requires CMD. So there's our 7-zip. If we just jump up here, type in CMD, bring up our CMD window, and just go ahead and Control V and get it in there, and go ahead and hit enter. As you can see, it starts building the files pretty quick. And I have it set up so it's on the maximum compression, so you're going to get the smallest file that could possibly be. So, and we're done there. So we'll go ahead and close that out. Just do by type. We can go ahead and delete all the files, and just make sure that we do delete the 7zip.gunzip right here, or 7z.exe.gunzip, and delete that. So that's just one little method. You can use gunzip if you want, but that's pretty easy as well. I just want to point that out. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close that now. So it looks like our app side is being uploaded here. It's almost done. Okay, and once that's done, we can go ahead and upload our files. So we'll go back into here, and we just don't want to hit the erase flash. We'll go to little fs and go ahead and hit OK. And we'll give that a few minutes to upload. It will take a little bit of time because there is quite a few files there. In the meantime, I will show you this here. I was using Flash Downloader Tool. Flash Downloader Tool lets you combine your bin files that this makes, and I will show you them as well. If we go ahead and hit OK, let me just jump into our C drive, user, echo stretch, back into our app data, and then our local. If we scroll down to the temp, and then scroll down, we should find our builds just below here, somewhere right here. So as you can see, it did create a bin file. The little fs bin is there as well. So we do have our bootloader, our INO bin, and our partition, and then our little fs. Now I was taking these here and then combining them. But the thing with that, you have to go ahead and flash the board, and then if it doesn't work, then you got to start all over. It's a little time consuming, so I did find another method. I will show you how to use this though. You just basically search for them, and then as for your offsets, just go ahead and take a look at your offsets. Let me just do a Control A here. I don't know if I can do anything while it's moving. Okay, we'll wait for that to be done. Because I don't think I can actually Control C them. See if I don't think I'm quick enough. Yes, I am quick enough. Okay, so if we do scroll up to the top here. Oh. Okay, right here, this is our first file. Don't worry about that there. That's the app file here. The boot app. It's not required. You can do it without it. But our first file is right here, which is 1000. So if we go ahead and look at 1000 here, we look at the size, 1448. Come here, 15. But if you go ahead and right click and hit properties, you can see the 14448 right here in the bytes. So we know that is for that. So we put bootloader at 1000. Go ahead and scroll down a little further here. Not too far though. Before we start uploading the files, we can see that 1029 is at 10,000. So 10,000 is the INO file. That's what I have it set for. But if you go in the INO file, it says 1006. But if you go in at properties, you get the 1029. And then just keep on following that. Next one is the 3072, which is 8000. It's going to be your partition, 3 gigabytes. And then your final one will be at the final. Once you do finish the upload, 11,000, and it's at 1566. Well, you know that's that. Right click, properties, and 15663.104. That's basically how you do that, and then you just go ahead and hit combine, and it pops up with the folder. There's your file. Now you can go ahead and flash that, test it. It may not work, and you went through all that process. It's just as quick just to do it this here way. Close all this out. Close this out. Don't save, and go into not there. My right tool. I have a feather right here with a command in it, and we'll leave this link in the description too. You can see it just grabs it from the COM3. If you go here and check your COM3, flash read, starting at 0, and it goes to the 1 million. And then the file name myhost.bin. You can name it whatever you want, but yeah, that's all you do. I do have the pause in it at the end just to keep the window open, but as you can see, it does start going. Now, if it stops at 4%, it's going to fail. There's 2 spots that it usually stops. If it's going to fail, it's usually around the 4% mark or the high numbers, which is the 82% mark. It all depends. If I was to switch, if it was 4 now, and it failed at 4, and I went over here and I switched this to off, it's probably going to change to the 82% mark. Somewhere's around there anyways. So you just got to play around with these 2 options, and you should be able to get it. But we'll definitely see if it goes all the way through here. We're at 50% now. We can go ahead and close this out now, as we won't need it anymore. And we can close this folder. Well, we'll leave it open for now because we want to, if it does create the bin, I'll show you. So 70%. 80%. Does go a lot quicker. If you were to flash it with any flashing tool, it does take a little bit of time, and I will show you that in the video as well. Okay, so it's definitely going to go through now. We do know that. You will get this message. Don't worry about this error message, warning, whatever. Just go ahead and hit spacebar and you're good to go. So myhost.bin was created. Caro's host, so we can go ahead and just rename it. Let me grab one of these right here. Rename, Control C, and then come down here. So with this here one, we'll take it to beta. It's 29, 22, and this one has GoldHEN 212 as well. And there we go. So that there's our bin file for the FeatherS2. Now, if we want to go ahead and flash it, just go ahead and open up our flash tool. And this is the same method to flash the combined bin. If you go ahead and combine your bin, same way. Set it up. You want to erase all data. Go ahead and select your proper COM port. Browse for the file. Desktop. And right here. And then you just go ahead and hit flash. It will erase the board first, but then it will start flashing it. But it does take a little bit of time, guys, but once it's done, it will tell you it's successfully flashed. But yeah, I'm going to leave the video at that. If you have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave it down below. I will try to get back to you. If you did like the video, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out the channel, guys. We're just over 3,000 subscribers. It's a long way since I started anyways. I do appreciate everybody that did subscribe. And yeah, that's it for the video. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.